Hey, Vsauce Hux here. You guys know what's really neat? Cows. But you know what's even cooler? Ice. But where does ice come from? Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode. On the single player stuff and things, world areas like you do, your regular series, stuff happens sometimes. Today, we're going to discover where ice comes from and hopefully generate a whole bunch of it really quickly so we can mine it, so we can gather it, so we have a whole bunch of it for the next update, because in the update, apparently, oh my gosh, you are going to be able to craft ice into packed ice and packed ice into blue ice, which is freaking amazing. That's like one of the best changes I think they could ever possibly do, and maybe I'll get into that why later, but it's so amazing because it means no more searching for packed ice biomes, pretty much. Anyway, so we're going to get started on that today, so make sure to tell your mom we're doing an ice farm. But first, let's hang out here for a minute and get some gold. So, they have not fixed the game, unsurprisingly, of course. I mean, it's going to be a while, I'm assuming, until they fix this. It might not even come until we actually get the full update, which would really suck, but for now, I have solved our AFK-able issues temporarily. We can sit here, we can mash on them, and it works. It's not the best, but it works. It's not as fast as if they were being killed by entity cramming with the minecarts, but it works out. I mean, it works out all right for being AFK-able. You can see it's pretty slow because you don't hit them every single time. I don't know. Maybe I could like change the minecart or something. I'm sure I could change this up a lot, but this was just my super quick fix so we can get some gold while we're AFKing. Yeah, so it's not the most effective system because obviously you can't kill them very fast. And I just, obviously if they were killing themselves with the entity cramming and you still got XP and everything, then that would be the way to go. But because the game is broken still, I think that this is a pretty good little solution, at least temporarily. So anyway, let's move on. I just wanted to show you that in case you guys are doing something similar and you wanted to fix your gold farm. I mean, don't forget, you can do a super simple little rail deal like so, and that should solve the problem. So anyway, I hope you guys are ready for the big reveal that I've seen on Twitter. We have completed something pretty freaking substantial and mind-blowing here. And there's a spoiler in the perimeter I'm trying not to show you. But over here, we've got a completed wall. This is pretty freaking awesome, guys. I don't know. This is one of my biggest accomplishments. So this device, if you weren't aware, maybe I'll leave a link in the description or a card or something like that, a little thing in the top right. You can go check out the episode in which I designed all of this stuff. So I took an existing build from somebody, I think on the Java version, and I've talked to them in the comment section of my videos, and they were pretty happy to see that I had used their device, and I had made it, basically they had like a 9 block tall wall that was being built out of cobblestone. So what I did is I made it tileable to be as tall as you want, right? I don't know if it can be any taller than this actually. This is kind of the max for the way I have the redstone set up. But I basically figured out how to tile it upwards and how to fill it full of random blocks. So I'm pretty happy with that little discovery that I made, and I think this is one of the biggest things I've ever done in the game as far as like technical everything. I don't know, it's just super complicated, and it took me like almost a month or something like that. Oh, it's ridiculous, but the progress has been achieved, and it actually didn't take. I mean, it took quite a long time. I was gonna say not as long as I thought it was going to. No, it definitely took a long time. Like, I started around here and AFK'd overnight. So I went to bed at like, I don't know, like midnight. And I came back, there's the spoilers over to the right. I've already built the thing we're going to build later today, but it's okay, we're time traveling. Anyway, so I started way back over there, like 20% done. And it got like 90% of the way overnight in one AFK session. Pretty freaking phenomenal. And I'm just really surprised it hasn't broken on me. Like, it hasn't broken one time. It seems like ultra reliable. So it's pretty cool. We are going to fill up this top section with something. I don't know what I'm going to do, like snow or something, just like a womp, make like a little hill so it kind of looks natural. And then maybe have some snow like falling down over the side. I mean, I don't know. It's still a big hole at the moment. It's going to be hard to fill up. So I just figured I would show you that and what we're going to have to figure out how to do for it. Words. Yeah, and I don't know if I've mentioned this already. I think I have. I'm going to leave the redstone in place and maybe like, I don't know, box it up or something. Maybe I'll just leave it how it is. This perimeter is going to be an unfinished perimeter because we're probably going to start the new land with the new update pretty soon. So it doesn't really make sense to like do all of this work and fill all of these walls up, because we're probably going to do something kind of similar in the next world. So we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. This was just a practice, because obviously it's not even the right size and stuff. Anyway, it's too close to the player. All right, let's move on here and start working on some ice science. Okay, we're in the wonderful world of ice generation science, super flat, test world stuff. So the very first thing that I wanted to figure out, I'm just going to tell you a little story here, bring you along. We're going to breeze right by all of this stuff and go check it out in survival. But first, what I wanted to figure out, basically we had two options, right? Either we have pistons that push the ice, or we find some other method of blocking ice from generating, and I was not able to figure that out. So we had to push it with pistons, basically. And you can see that I was doing some testing like string, and buttons, and fences, and skulls, and I was really hoping this would work. Like if it was open, it would form. If it was closed, it wouldn't, because I wanted to have an off switch for everything, but I wasn't able to figure it out. So basically, I ended up just going with pistons. So this is the system that I came up with. So you can go ahead and screenshot whatever if you want to play around with this yourself. It's really simple. All you do is you detect the ice forming. So let's break this block so it will happen. Let's break some of this, and maybe it'll happen while we're sitting here. Okay, I have no idea what the problem was there. It like broke for some reason. Just never done that before. I think I messed it up somehow. Anyway, you can see the ice forms. It gets pushed up and out and then up again. And that is basically the system. We're just observing it from the bottom there into the monostable with the sand like I like to do. So it just gives you the one update. It's kind of like a burnout deal. It's kind of weird. But then it also updates this observer, which pushes it. So first it gets pushed up and it gets pushed over. And then after delay, it gets pushed up again. Oh my gosh, the words are hard. So anyway, that is basically the system. And if you design it a little bit differently, you can tile it into this thing right over here. So I kind of just went sequentially up. And just to clarify, this is the best way to get ice. If you really just want ice, like in a huge amount of it, probably the best method. I saw this on Exumavoid's channel a long time ago. You just block a diagonal with anything. So that way when you break the blocks, the diagonal forms new water, and it makes it super easy to make ice all over again without having to place any blocks. Super, super effective. And also what you can do is you can chop it out like this and harvest all of this ice with no water in your way, and then go back afterwards and break it. Not like that. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that real quick. This is the best method, but we're just playing around with some fun redstone. You can see I've got a pretty awesome design over here. So this is very simple. All it does is it detects the ice. Let's clear stuff out, actually, so we can see this happen. Let's go into survival mode. This is basically how you harvest it. You just walk through here, and let's actually just harvest like a big chunk of this so we can see it all in action. Yeah, I just was trying to figure out like the ways to get it all into a cube, and this was like the first attempt, is to just do a line of blocks like this, so you don't have to like climb the ice. You can just, you know, harvest it at head level, and it works pretty well. You can go in here afterwards, hit the button, and it will clear it all back out so more ice can form. So basically all that's happening is we got observers under there, as you can see, and every time the ice generates, it'll do the same thing it does over there, but instead of having the piston right behind it, we have it off to the side. Right there, we got the monostable, and it goes underground to the bottom pistons, up to these ones, and then that's all we do here. We don't have a third set of pistons pushing everything up. But if you had the materials for that, you could do that. Let's go back into creative, and then there's what I have over here. So we did the really interesting activation method with the observers and the rails. I can't remember where I saw this, but it's freaking genius. Whoever came up with this, like, comment below if you remember, or if you know, like, first person to use this method. It's freaking genius. It's so cool. You just update the rails with some power. It'll update the observers, which will push the pistons, and create a really nice cube here for us. And you can see the same system here as we've got over there. So basically, I just put 4 of them together, right? And that's what this is right here. And it's got an off switch, which is really essential because we're going to build this in the perimeter, and we don't want to have all of this lag going when we're not, basically when we don't want it to be. Like if there's other things running, we don't want this to be taking up all of the lag. So anyway, it makes a really cool block, as you can see. It makes a cool design as well. Well, it's filling up the block because it fills it from the outside to the inside. And all of the blue, this dark blue block here, is just a big off circuit. That is just the switch that turns it all off, and these extra pistons here or to block the ice in. And that is something that I found a way better way to do in the survival world, but I just figured I would show you how I came up with it here in creative mode. All right, well, I wanted to check this out real quick because we got an issue in the single player world. There's some stuff that I want to change, and we need a block or something that doesn't prevent ice from forming, so like a ladder, but it'll prevent us from falling into the hole, right? Because we're up at this level and the water's down there in our build, and we don't want to like fall into it because then we can't get out because it's too high. So we need something that prevents that from happening. And I was like looking at this like cobwebs, but if you fall into the cobwebs, well, I'm in creative mode, you're not going to be able to get out of them because you're like always falling down. You can't jump out of a cobweb. So that's not going to work for us. Mob heads seem like the only thing here that would work for us. Something that doesn't prevent ice from forming, but you can't fall into the area. But I mean, I don't know, to get a whole bunch of mob heads to do just that simple task seems kind of ridiculous. Figured I would just mention that real quick. You guys got any other ideas on how that we can prevent ourselves from falling in, but it does not prevent ice from forming? Be sure to let me know. But let's go back into single player, and I'll show you what I've built so far. You know, there's a couple issues that I've got with console Minecraft that just confuse the heck out of me. It makes me seriously question why certain things haven't happened yet. For example, why is there not a way to craft all blocks in your inventory into a block all at once, into a stack of blocks or whatever? Like, why can't I just hit triangle right now and just bam, it's all crafted immediately? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would just, I don't know why that's not a thing yet. We need a better way to solve all of this just holding a button or just endlessly putting items in the crafting grid. It's the worst part about this game, and there's so many different ways that they could fix that, but yet it stays the same. It's just one of the most confusing things. I just do not understand why we can't just hit a button and have it all happen at once. Is it like some kind of balancing thing? I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. Would it be better to have a button to craft all, or is that too powerful? Anyway, I've just been trying to craft all these freaking melons up because we've got a lot of them. So we're going to trade these eventually and get a crazy amount of emeralds, which is pretty cool. So let's sleep real quick and go check out the progress. And while we're doing it, this is what I do every time. Super quick little classic crafting. Turn it off real quick and craft the melons and then turn it back on. And I just wish there was an easier way to do that. All right, so I have created the ice farm that I showed you in creative mode. And it's a little bit different. It doesn't have the pistons that block it. Instead, we're just using the pistons that the farm uses already, and we're just turning them on. Check that out. So it turns on the pistons. Obviously, this one is at push limit, but we could clear it out if we wanted to. Same with these ones. These are also at push limit. Anyway, that'll just prevent more from growing, more ice from growing, forming words. We've also got an off switch over here for the other side, which is extremely important. We want to make sure we have an off switch for everything, and that's the biggest problem with the gold farm, so we can't turn it off. And that's basically why we're making sure that we have an off switch for everything else, is because that everything is just going to be just lagging like crazy if we don't figure all of that out. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. It is forming ice, and the coolest thing about it, I think, is the way that there's this shape in the middle that's like constantly changing. It's kind of just like a cool feature of the deal. So yeah, let's back up a little bit. Let's get a look at it. I don't know what I want to do yet. I mean, again, it is not an efficient ice farm. It's just kind of like a cool project to have in the area. I think it fits in nicely, and we're going to need more ice and stuff eventually, so I think it works out. The glass here is kind of like the thing I'm not too sure about, preventing you from falling into there. So this is what I mean. Like, do we put like a whole bunch of mob heads in here or what? Help me figure that out, because I do not like the glass. It's just like kind of the only option we have at the moment that I can think of. Man, it's crazy. I really think that mob heads are like literally the only thing that we could use to prevent us from falling in those holes. It's so weird. Like, out of all of the blocks possible, the most expensive type of block is the only one that'll work. By the way, beds float again. They used to float, and then they fixed it, and now they float again, which is interesting. And none of these things, no chest, no ender chest, no beds. I can't freaking figure it out. Leaves also don't allow ice to form. There's nothing else, like literally. There are no other blocks that we could use other than mob heads. It's crazy. All right. Well, we've got a giant cube of ice. ready to chop down. We also have these things that are all filled up, which is interesting. And I think, yeah, these are just a huge problem. It's just super awkward. It's the only thing I don't like about this design is we got these weird troughs here that you can fall into. So man, got to figure that out. But anyway, I think you can kind of just walk up to it and start harvesting. I don't think you need to do anything fancy. So let's just give ourselves a space. We're going to hop in there and just see how much of this we can get without having to climb it. Okay, so not very much. So we need a way up there. So maybe like a slime block launcher or something. Not sure. Anyway, let's chop all of this stuff down and see how much ice we get from it. And then see how to reset it, because that's something else that we're going to have to figure out as well. Let's collect this and see how much we get. And it doesn't take too long to chop it down either. I mean, obviously, because it's ice. But it does help to jump up to the top first. I think that's probably the best way to do that. All right. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good amount of ice. Sweet. For one harvest. Leaving these layers. And then obviously, this is the part that I'm just not too happy with, is you got to come in here. Do this. To turn it back on again. I don't know. Maybe, wait. Do I have it off? I just realized I don't actually need to chop all of this. You just need to update it. That's actually pretty handy. Yeah, okay, that's cool. All I gotta do is hit the lever and then it'll restart it, and you can even get some extras. Amazing. All right, this is cool. I'm happy with it. Let's move on here and go do something else. All right, ow. So I haven't mentioned it. I think I mentioned it. I can't remember if I've mentioned it. I've commented it, but I haven't said it in a video. We are going to not forget about this world when the update comes along. Check out all of the ice I'm getting. Oh my gosh. I want to fill like all three of these up. That would be amazing. Also totally out of packed ice as well. Yeah, so basically, we're not going to ditch this world entirely. We are going to still play on this world even when we start the new land. And my reasoning is because I always thought it would be cool to have two different worlds. Have one that was super late game, where you did all of your super high-tech giant mob farms and stuff. And in the other world, you tried to focus on efficiency and how to do things with less resources in early game. I think that would be pretty cool. So I think that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to have like a early game series, and then we're going to keep this as our late game series. All right, let's see if we can fly over to our snowy areas. Mob farm is behind us, so we should just be this direction. Still trying to figure out where it is. There it is. Oh yeah, oh yeah, getting some work done. Oh man, this looks super cool. Let's go into the middle to start off with. Oh man, this is just gonna be so cool when it's done. Just imagine the black dome. This is what I want to try and do, is finish up this black dome issue section, because it's gonna take a really long time. And then we're gonna cover it in snow. So the outside is white, and the inside is black. But I have also done some interior work as well. We've cleared it out. See, I've put down gray concrete powder. Not too sure about this yet. I really like the quartz and the white concrete. I think that is super nice. So the walls and stuff I'm happy with, but I'm not too sure about what we're going to do for the floor here. My thought is that this area, if you ever been to like a science center or something, they usually have either like white marble floor or like carpet. So I'm kind of thinking like this is the entrance, right? So this is like the kid zone, and like the hangout spot's gonna have some like statues or whatever. So we got carpet in here because it's kind of like an indoor environment. You know what I mean? And then maybe back here, I don't know, but I got these two rooms. Maybe do something interesting like an exhibit of some kind. Totally unsure about what we're gonna do with this area, but I think that this is a really, really, really good start. I also have interesting outside as well words. Dun, dun, dun. So this is my first little iteration on trying to do a modern build, and I think it works. I really like the windows with the awnings. That looks pretty realistic. I don't know, like a big nice front window with a little lip on the top. Maybe like it's held up with chains or something was my idea there. Yeah, and I tried to light it up a little bit. I think it works well through the doors. And I was thinking here is a perfect spot for like a logo or a mural or something. So I have some ideas. But be sure to comment and let me know if you got any ideas for that. I also think it's really cool how these kind of look like spotlights. You know how like, I don't know, it kind of looks like spotlights. Anyway, I wanted to check this out at the nighttime. because that is going to be the most optimal time to be in this area, I think, because we're going to have the stars, obviously. All right, well, yeah, haven't really done too much. I didn't mention in the last episode, this is going to be the telescope. Over here, we're going to have the actual telescope deal. This is the planetarium, words. That is going to be the observatory. Yeah, so I flattened some land out. I've done some interiors. I've just been working on this dome up here. I put a railing on the top as well. I figured it would be kind of a little extra bit of detail, just have another layer up there so you can walk around on the railing, which is pretty cool. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to cover this all in snow. And I started covering it in white concrete because I wanted it to look really clean, but I don't think I'm going to do that because it's just not the most effective use of blocks like we talked about last time. Probably gonna just go with snow. I don't know if I'm gonna rip this out. I might just leave a little section of white and do snow above it. Yeah, so that is the plan, is I'm just gonna keep working on this, and it is gonna take a super long time. All right, well, the plateau here, what I wanna do is finish the dome, and we cannot finish the dome because we are out of black concrete. So we need to go kill some squid, go to the ink farm, something, get a whole bunch more of this so we can continue work on the giant dome, because I want to finish that before we move on, because I got to finish it. It's got to be dark in there. I've got to get my brain going, and that is the next step that I want to work on. So let's go figure that out. Let's go to the squid farm, see if we can get any ink over there. And you know what, I actually have another idea for a different way that we can get some ink sacks. Hot ink sack action. All right, so ow, didn't think there was an island in our way. So a little while ago, they changed the spawning algorithm for squid. And now it is a lot better. It used to be terrible. It used to be really, really difficult to get squid to spawn on Console Edition. But now it is actually very easy to get a ton of squid to spawn. But there's kind of an issue with the AFK areas. So they need to be close to you, but not too close. And if they're too far away, they do not have AI. So if they spawn too far away from you, and you're not close enough to get them to move, then they're just going to stay still and they're never going to deload or despawn or whatever or die, so no more will spawn. But if they're close enough to you, they'll continue to pathfind and move around. So I was realizing we might be able to find some type of radius here to where we're close enough to get them to spawn, like so, but they can't spawn far enough away that their AI gets turned off, right? And eventually they'll make their way into the water and fall, like so, perfect timing, and leave behind some ink sacks. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do. I want to sit here in the middle, and we're just going to test this out here. Let's sit in the middle-ish. Let's actually sit in the mathematical middle, just so we're absolutely sure about the radius or whatever. And we just want to make sure that we're not seeing any squid doing that. That's the problem. That's what we don't want. We don't want squid standing there not moving. Uh-huh. Alright, well, this is definitely giving me some ideas about how we could do this. And I think that that's the thing. If we were to reverse what we got here, so if this cylinder was full of water and the outside was dry, I think that would be pretty ideal. And then a smaller cylinder in the middle to hang out. And I think the squid would definitely spawn more frequently and move out of the water streams more fast eventually, or at all, because some of these guys are never going to move, which is a problem. All right, so let's head back to the squid farm, because I'm pretty sure that this is not going to be a very effective thing for us in the short term, although we might be able to figure something out in the future. Okay, heading in the nether to the squid farm. We're going to go check this out because there's an issue with this. I've been AFKing in the wrong area, so we need to AFK in the proper area, and I hope it should actually generate quite a good number of ink sacks. So, yeah, it's just over here, and we've got two portals, obviously, because we got an up high and a down low, and we do not need the up high anymore because pretty sure they changed squid spawning, and they do not spawn all the way down there when we're all the way up here. So I'm not really sure exactly where we want to hang out, but I think it's going to be like closer to the ground over here. Yeah, I'm not sure. And they still spawn in lava, obviously. Oh, right. I had this little AFK point right here, and it seemed to work out relatively well, but I still don't think it's in the right position. All right, so before the change, I used to AFK over here and zoom in like so, and just wait for squid to fall, and you could see them on fire like that, right like that. Did they despawn or did they instantly die? That was kind of weird. Let's see if we got any ink sacs from that little spawning attempt. That was kind of weird. It almost looked like they despawned. Let's wait for the minecart to pass over the hoppers. Any minute now. That's why I made it out of slime blocks so you can see where it's at in its cycle. And we didn't get an ink sac. That's pretty weird. It looked like they despawned. That was strange. You know, it's also really weird because you would expect a lot more in this farm. You know what I mean? Like, we just saw so many squid spawning in the ocean. Like, we should see a couple of these like every minute. There's one. And did it instantly despawn again? What is going on here? They're like not dropping their ink. Very, very strange. It like usually they sit on the ground and like pulsate for a minute before they die. That's how you know it's dropping the items. But it almost looks like maybe we're too close and they're spawning all the way at the top. And so they're dying before they can drop their item or something. And that's just like an animation lag. Let's back up a little bit. Let's try and like gauge how far away they were spawning in the ocean to where we were at in the perimeter area, and let's see if we can match that. I don't know. I mean, it feels like it's somewhere around here. There we go. And they despawn. Oh, but they dropped ink sacs. Oh, hallelujah. We had the ink sacs. Anytime. Any day now. There we go. Amazing. We got some sacs. Okay, well, that is cool. So it is working. There's an Enderman in there for some reason. Do not ask me. Anyway, yeah, so it looks like kind of back here is the AFK section, I guess. Because it's beyond 16 blocks, but I think it's within 32 or something like that. I don't know. We're going to have to do some testing. So anyway, I'm going to AFK here for a little bit. See if we can grab any more ink sacs and hopefully make some concrete eventually. My gosh, that project is expensive. I have been here for a really long time. We need a better solution for this ink sac business. If we want to make some profit here, we're going to have to kick up our production rates. Man, that's not very much. It will be a start, but we are probably going to go do some manual squid slaughtering. Why is that so difficult? It's always so difficult. Anyway, yeah, we're going to head back to the main areas, to the oceans. Probably swim around with some potions and kill a bunch of squid. Alright, found an extra stack of ink sacs in a chest. Had all these materials from clearing out the ocean temple and that other crazy hole in the ocean in the bottom of the sea that we were just hanging out at earlier. So I made up a bunch of black concrete. Perfect. We're going to need a bunch more, and I think we're probably going to need more snow and stuff as well. So this is just resource heavy project. You know what it is? It's expansive. That's what it is. It's expansive. It's expensive and a strange accent, and also expansive because there's always more to add to it. Wordplay. Anyway, hit the like button if you like words, and I'll see you in the next episode. Love your faces. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Hey!